You're wondering where I've been, aren't you? Had one of those little spells of adventure. I thought this one would be done by now anyway. Still haven't moved out of the old house, I know, but there's been lots of day-to-day issues to deal with. And we were over there the other day for most of the day, and it's getting cold. And Mrs. Meltdown had some work to do on the computer as well, and she put the electric heater on, and then we left and we came back to the new house, and then she had a shower. And then just as she got out of the shower, at about 9 o'clock at night, she said, "Oh, I think I've left the heater on. Can you go and have a look?" And she had. Luckily, it didn't burn the house down. I mean, that's relative. Wouldn't have helped with the moving, I suppose, but we don't really want that. But what it had done is it had melted an interesting wall surface. I'm not even going to go into it. It's an old house with some funny stuff. And there was a thing on the wall and it melted it. And we had a lot of cleaning up to do. 2.5 days later, I'm back at this thing thinking, where was I? What was I doing? Never mind, eh? It's all, part of life's rich tapestry. Scraping melted crap off a wall and off a carpet. Never mind. So I suppose the question is, what have we got here? Well, I guess the title of the video, or whatever it is, film, will tell us, but the gun is coming along. More weathering and tidying up to do. But there it is. What I've noticed is I've lost the tip. Well, I say I've lost. I don't think it came in the box. It is not present. It never has been. To the best of my knowledge. I will scour everything to see if I can find it. Otherwise we'll just have to do without for the time being, and I'll see what comes along as we go along. There aren't many bits left to do. I guess that makes sense that way up anyway, doesn't it? There we go. Whatever. I forgot to mention that man. He stayed on the sprue, so I'll tidy him up. And there's the bits. People are saying, what an untidy workbench you've got. Workbench, I haven't got one of those, particularly not at the moment. That's at the old house still. Instead, what I've got is a 1% built model railway. That station's coming along nicely though, isn't it? So, yeah, don't don't get techie with me. There's no chance of that. We are seriously as low tech as possible for the sheer hell of it, I suppose. I don't know, the sheer ineptitude of it. I think it'll improve over time, that kind of thing. But anyway, we're talking about the tank, so let's get on with the other bits. Now it's sitting rather proudly on its base. Still haven't tidied up weathering and stuff, but look at this. The arm that attaches onto there flung off when I was adjusting things. It's taken me 36 minutes, but there it is. Needs a bit of a clean up. That's why I hadn't glued it on. I was just lining everything up and it went twang. Well, there we are. Let's get that on then. Oh, and there you go. You can see it has to go onto there. But we have a line which takes us down, pin number 1. Old knife. I think they mean heat it up. It'll be there somewhere. Whatever. But yeah, old knife. I've got to get an old knife. Right, will do. Ah, turn the camera on. Oh, that looks good though, doesn't it? Love it. Here's a lesson from grand old Father Meltdown. Don't follow the order of the instructions, because they say put all that gubbins together, phase number 1, and then, sorry, 11, and then phase number 12, put the gun onto the sort of thing, base, and then put the base on the plinth and add a chair. When you do that, you've got to brace everything for a start. Now I have got two of those lovely objects with I can't remember called, with a magnifying glass and two arms with two claws on the end, but I can't find them at the moment. But that would only help a bit, because you've actually got to battle around all the bits and pieces, all the protrusions. Anyway, so the best thing to do then is put all that on there and then build the rest of the gun up around it. Good job I hadn't done the gluing. The other thing we have to learn is, this is separate, I forgot to show you those bits as well. There we are. Right, onwards. That is a good looking station. Oh, and then there's those and those. It's just been one of those days, really. Looks alright, doesn't it? So consequently, having wrestled with it and taken it apart and put it back together, there's a hell of a lot of glue down there at the bottom. I needed a lot of glue putting the hull together, particularly when that found that kind of rear axle was missing. So it's turning out to be an enjoyable but very, very gluey little model. So that's a shame. I don't like all the glue, but it does happen, I find. That's me. I'm getting old, you know. We're going to deal with one in the future where I go, oh, I might have to back away from some of this, I'm too old. But anyway, what am I doing now? I don't know, I'm old. Give over. Well, naturally, I want it pointing skywards. I think that makes sense, doesn't it? Probably not that far up though. But I'll stick it in and I'll see how it goes. Right, that doesn't look too crazy an angle. Obviously I can move it, but just looking. What's going on then? Well, I've glued the base of the gun in. I still have a lot of parts that are not actually glued together, so I can take the whole gun apart. So I'm going to have trouble getting somebody in that seat, aren't I? So it's there, but it's not. Yeah, it's starting to look quite mean. That's alright, isn't it? I might drop the gun and... No, that's alright. So now a little bit's going on. Hand wheel's gone on. Jack and the handle and them, and that's sagged. Time to deal with that then. And the cleaner thing, and they obviously will need a bit of painting up. The interesting thing about all of them is they all have locations on the instruction sheet. Where is it? Tool positions. Tool positions. There you go. And they've all got pins, but none. But the hull doesn't have any holes where they go, so I just cut them off. Just one of those old-fashioned things, I suppose. Just an aside, I've still got the box top, which is just crumbling before my eyes. Anyway, all the toolery and the machine gun is the basic base colour, the beige, and over there and over here, apart from the brush end, which is plausible because you just get a pot of paint and you paint it. I've never seen that on any tanks in museums, but who knows, museums do get things wrong. The other interesting thing along those lines is the tracks are camouflaged as well, and I have seen that on a couple of photographs, and I was looking at it recently and I thought, I don't know that I'll do it on this one. But this is all very interesting. I shall pursue this in the future, because at the moment I'm going to leave it as it is, because I've seen just tons of vehicles with you know, metallic or black objects, apart from the fire extinguisher, which of course is red, and I've done mine red, and I'm going to keep it red because I think it needs that flash of colour for a start. But also, one thing a veteran was telling me many years ago is that you just grabbed anything, and you would grab stuff off tanks which were knocked out. So you'd often have out of date stuff. So let's say that's a late version, yep, but my guys have grabbed an old fire extinguisher because theirs has run out. There you go.